Pop quiz. Which of these generations is least likely to be conservative? Answer is it's your 18 to 24-year-old reform-minded Gen Zers. Now, which generation is least likely to be happy with the job President Biden is doing in the White House? That also is Generation Z, and that's a growing problem for Democrats. Young progressives who played a legit role in getting Biden elected also appear to be among the first to lose patience with the glacial pace of progress.
Democrats are going to face devastating consequences in the midterm elections if we do not deliver for the people.
That's Mondaire Jones, millennial, and at 34 years old, one of the youngest members of Congress. He's also one of the most progressive, and one of the most concerned about losing young voters if the Biden administration doesn't lock in campaign promises on healthcare, civil rights, and climate change.
Right now, most of which are still held up in the Senate, because the president can't pass most reforms without 60 votes. Otherwise, it gets filibustered or stalled out by the other party. That's not a law, that's just a long-standing Senate rule neither party has been anxious to blow up.
We've got 2 senators on the Democratic side who are refusing to support reforms to the filibuster. And it is a slap in the face to young people who worked hard, who came out in unprecedented numbers.
But a lot of Democratic leaders have resisted changing filibuster rules, which have helped their party block a lot of Republican priorities over the years, including restrictions on abortion and expansions of gun rights. Now, some reforms can be passed through a process called reconciliation, which only requires 50 votes in the Senate. But Democrats lost a bunch of battleground seats in the last election, so they only have 50 senators, which means you have to get every single one to buy in if you want to pass anything progressive. And some of those Democrats are quite conservative, as it turns out, compared at least to a Bernie Sanders or Mondaire Jones.
Most people believe when a party has unified control of the federal government, including majorities in both chambers of Congress, that they should be able to act swiftly, especially on the priorities that they campaigned on.
It's not that Biden's resume doesn't already include some fulfilled promises. He rejoined the Paris Climate Agreement and the World Health Organization. He reversed Trump's transgender military ban. He ended family separation policies at the border and rushed money out to families and small businesses with the American Rescue Plan. He has not yet ushered in major reforms on policing, though, or student debt, or the cost of prescription drugs. But he did pass an enormous deal with Republicans to upgrade America's physical infrastructure.
That is just not enough, though, for many young progressives who aren't willing to wait for Washington's slow wheels to turn.
They care very deeply about these issues. They see them kind of starting to reach this tipping point of no turning back. And so they want bold action on them, and they want that fast. My name's Carolyn DeWitt, and I'm the president and executive director of Rock the Vote.
Their organization has been getting young people to the polls since 1990. And now, she says, more than ever, millennials and Gen Zers are activated. A Harvard Kennedy School survey earlier this year found 36% of Americans under 30 say they're politically active, compared to just 24% immediately after President Obama's first election in 2008. That includes organizing on TikTok, Twitter, and alongside presidential motorcades. But young voters are also a lot less likely than their older counterparts to be loyal to the established political parties.
By and large, they're not really motivated by particular candidates, and they're not motivated by parties. They're motivated by solutions and action on those solutions.
And so far, the lack of solutions is hurting President Biden. Only 33% of adults under 30 say they currently approve of the job the president is doing, the lowest of any generation. Only 36% say they consider the president liberal, the lowest of any generation. Only 24% say they considered him honest and trustworthy, the lowest of any generation.
And in California, where Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom struggled with similar storylines ahead of his recall election, only about half as many voters under 30 turned out to support their governor this year as they did Biden last year. No other generation saw anywhere close to that kind of decline. Now, Newsom still won his race by 24 points because older voters have always been 2 to 3 times more likely to vote than younger voters. But in Virginia, where adults under 30 made up 20% of the vote in 2020, they made up just 10% of the votes for governor in 2021, as Democrat Terry McAuliffe was upset by Republican Glenn Youngkin.
Republicans, meanwhile, this isn't really good news for you either, because with young voters rejecting the Democratic label, that means you're missing out on kind of a golden opportunity. A third of all voters under 30 cast ballots for President Trump last year, but a post-election analysis showed that young voters were 50% more likely to have been contacted by the Biden campaign than the Trump campaign. If there's one maxim that's true in American politics, it's that voters have short memories. So the hope for Democrats is that a re-engaged progressive base may only be a few social spending successes away.
Young people have it right. Our government should be responsible. Our government should be nimble. And it's Congress that needs to take a cue from the frustration that young people are feeling.
Hey everyone, Noah Pransky here. Thanks for checking out the NBCLX YouTube channel. For more videos, click here. And don't forget to click subscribe to join the NBCLX community.